Welcome to the Solavei National Training Webinar. It is my privilege and joy to be a part of this webinar this evening with some other fantastic leaders from around the nation. My name is Staci Wallace, and tonight we are in for a very special treat because we are going to be talking about how to use the Outreach Manager as a powerful sales tool. It is going to be a night where we are actually going to hear from what I would say is one of the most brilliant human beings, he doesn't like me to say this, I'm sure, that I've ever met, Jim Ryan, Head of Products of Solavei. This week I had a little opportunity to hear him talk about Solavei and the product itself, and the passion that exudes from him when he talks about this Outreach Manager, it wows me. And certainly I am a student at his feet tonight and excited to be bringing him on. Before we do that, I have another very special guest that is with us this evening that is a leader amongst leaders. He is someone that is known in the field as having an extraordinary organization of all thousandaires, is the name of his tribe, his team, and we're just very excited to have with us this evening top producer in the company, one who is doing a fantastic job of leading leaders. Please help me welcome tonight to our webinar, Mr. Robert McFadden. Rob, are you there with us?
I am, Staci. Thank you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Glad that you're here. That's a dapper-looking picture of you.
Hey, you have to hold on to your youth somehow, and I found pictures is a good way to do that.
I use Photoshop. It's awesome.
That's great. I'll learn the trick sooner or later.
Well, Rob, tell us about why are you so excited about Solavei. I wanted to take a few minutes tonight before we bring on our special guest. And for those people who are new tonight that are just tapping in, they've just gotten started. We have so many people right now that are just buzzing into Solavei, getting started for the first time. Give us a brief overview of what is Solavei and why should we be so excited?
Well, that's a broad topic. I'd like to first of all say thank you for the invitation. I know that Solavei Corporate has been hoping that we as leaders would unite and create some unified front going forward, which is really an amazing feat if you think about it, because we all have such dynamic personalities and we all have such a grand focus on delivering Ryan's vision of Solavei out to the teams. And, you know, I was thinking about it, and you and I combined have over 16,000 people over which we have stewardship. And you cannot take that experience lightly. You cannot sit here and go, you know what, that many people that are, their hopes and dreams are putting forth all the effort into Solavei and wanting to be a part of this revolution. And it truly is a revolution. You and I have been around this industry a long time, and when I say this industry, I'm really talking about the industry of people. You have an exceptional talent at engaging people and enjoying people and loving people, and that's what makes you the leader that you are. And so you transition that and you help emit that out to your team so that your team would in turn follow that same process. So first of all, it's a privilege to be working with you and co-hosting this event. I know that our team, All Thousandaires, is working very hard to stay focused and stay consistent in the process. And you know, I do that by trying to lead them by example. Being a part of Solavei means a lot to me personally, and it should mean a lot to everybody that is involved, because let me just tell you the key things that I have gleaned as part of this revolution. Leading my team and going forward, I have noticed that everybody, no matter what their circumstances in life, they want to feel a part of something. And so that, as a leader, that's something I have identified. And when you can feel like you belong and a sense of belonging and being a part of something, that is an innate comfort that people need in order to proceed, in order to move forward with power and with vigor and with might. And so to me, I had to help define for my team, what does it mean to be a part of a revolution? And so to me, I started to think back, you know, what are things that constitute a revolution? And I really had to identify, looking back into history, what made not only a revolution, but what made a revolution great. And the one thing that was the core at the center of all of that was you had to have a great vision. Solavei has an amazing vision. Solavei today is not the same as what Solavei is going to be tomorrow. Solavei of tomorrow is not just a mobile network company. It's not just a networking opportunity that provides great cell service. Solavei is much grander. We're going to shift into phases 2 and 3 and 4 as we go forward, and we're going to grow into our own vision of becoming a social commerce network. And so oftentimes, and I've heard you say this on your webinars, I oftentimes sit and listen to you do your calls and listen to the other leaders do their presentations, because I learn, just like you said, I learn at the feet of Jim Ryan because he's one of the most brilliant people you've ever met. First of all, I concur with that. But I think you're pretty smart as well, Staci, and I listen to you and I learn from you just as I do from the other leaders, as I do from my team. But we are growing as a company in this revolution, which is, in a nutshell, what a revolution is when you take something that is broadly understood by a mass amount of people and you in turn change the way people perceive what it is that you're doing. That is exactly what Solavei is about. We're changing the perception of how people approach commerce, and we're changing how they approach how they can and should be treated by their cell provider. And so as we transition into what Solavei is becoming, which is the social commerce network, it's almost like taking Facebook and taking Google Plus and taking YouTube and taking Twitter and taking all these different social networks that have very keen, focused groups of activities and people that participate in them, and taking them and saying, okay, if I wanted to expand my business prowess, I'd go to LinkedIn. If I wanted to wish my friend a happy birthday that I went to grade school with, I'd wish him that on Facebook. If I wanted to take a picture of my favorite cupcake and tell everybody to, hey, look how cool this cupcake, I'd do that on Pinterest. So everything has a very unique approach and process to it. Well, Solavei is the social commerce network, where if you want to economically advantage yourself or the people that you care about the most, you're going to join Solavei. It is a social network focused around the commerce or the exchange of value, economic value. And so as I look at Solavei today, we are known for mobile networking, being a mobile company, a mobile operator, because that's our first lead product in the market. However, we are to mobile like books are to Amazon. It is just our entrance to the market. As we go forward and we start to provide the commerce or the economic exchange, you will see that that will actually be the bigger piece of what Solavei is known for, in taking those billions of dollars that are currently invested in advertising and traditional dogma of how to transact business. And when we shift the power to the people, and I've often heard Ryan said, in fact, he just did it on this San Diego event where he was on the news, where he said we're taking that money and we're transitioning it to where it matters most, and that's in the hands of the people. And so I am extremely excited to be a part of this revolutionary front as it moves forward, because we're not only going to change the way the direct sales or the relationship model works, but we're going to change how people expect to be taken care of by their cell phone provider. Think about asking your cell phone provider or the next person that you talk to, does your cell phone provider have a contract? Oh, it does? Solavei does not. And by the way, just out of curiosity, does your cell phone provider pay you to use their service? They don't? Well, Solavei does that as well. And so we're changing the paradigm where we're actually paying people to use the service as opposed to, like you say, the golden handcuffs. And finally, I think the future of Solavei as we move forward and we get into the different vertical product lines that the management team has put forth, be it cable or be it energy or financial services or high-speed internet, you name it. It's endless. Right now with the mobile phone, we have a 0 degree of separation between us and the end consumer. So that anytime we open up or launch a new product or service, we have an immediate connection with our end consumer. And the best part about Solavei, from building it from a network side where you and I sit, is that as your network grows and eventually you get 1,000 or 2,000 people in your network, and then Solavei launches the next phase or the next product line or the next vertical integrated product or service, you don't have to continue to go out and expand your network in order to profit from that additional goods and services. If 50% of your network starts to use the next product, then that means your compensation increased exponentially based on just the people already in your network consuming the next product. I love the concept around it. It is a truly beautiful concept and principle that we're a part of. And I'm happy to be here where I am and working alongside of great leaders like you and managing a team and building and developing leaders. So that's kind of what my short 2 minutes is all about.
Well, I just got a text that just popped in from Mary Blackburn, and she said, WOW, Robert is articulating Solavei beautifully. And I agree. Rob, you have such a great gift of words and communication, and no question why you're such a great leader in the company. Would you mind sticking around with me? I'm loving this right now because I have been Barbara Walters for a few months now on these calls. And I think Barbara Walters is wonderful, by the way. I think that's an awesome thing to be able to do. But would you be my Ryan Seacrest tonight? And stick around, and we've got Jim Ryan with us, and I know that there's going to be a great night, and I'm sure you've got some great questions to ask him as well. Would you be able to do that for us?
More than happy to.
Awesome. Well, without further ado then, I am going to bring on to the call, many of you know him as the head of products, and you know that there's no short, I mean, when you think about what we're doing as a company, and I'm sure that Jim will speak to this, it's nothing short of simply awe-inspiring what is happening with Solavei. And certainly when I consider the history of where Jim has come from, what all he has done, and certainly what he's bringing to the table for us here at Solavei to birth a revolution, I know that there are some extraordinary things that are happening right now, but even more of what's to come. So please help me welcome to the webinar this evening, Jim Ryan. Jim, are you with us?
I am with you. How are you?
Hey, we're great. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. I am. It's funny. I'm just bouncing from room to room here as we launched some additional features and functions today in the platform, and we're actually looking at some real exciting stuff here that we're cooking up in the kitchen right now. And I got a lot of people working on a lot of different things, and I just came running out of here and realized I have like 3 minutes to get on this thing and talk to you, but it's all good. Always excited to talk about our products, so thanks for giving me the opportunity to be here. And you can always feel free to spread whatever accolades you like about me. That's always good. All right, so how do we figure out how
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah, turn over your controls here. This will be a scary
moment. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm
going to make you our organizer, and you are going to be in full control. Now, Jim, you know this is psychologically an effort for me to give you full control here.
Yeah, and I just wonder, because I will have control, and then what you should do before you give me control is you should go, okay, so go into your, hold on, show screen, close all the chairs when ready. Oh, so hold on, you're going to see me. All right, let's see what happens here. And
okay, now wait. Do we have your screen?
Do you see the Seattle skyline?
No, not yet.
I do see the Seattle skyline. Okay, so actually it is your screen, Jim. I thought it was going to be my screen, but we are seeing your screen now.
All right. So hold on. Let me fire up here. Let me fire up my Solavei. Can everyone see this?
There we are.
Yeah, there we are.
Welcome to my Solavei. Okay, so now, actually, I guess I should probably minimize. You can see all my stuff, right? So I'll minimize that. And can everyone see that beautiful, beautiful thing?
That is. It's breathtaking.
All right. Now, what I'm going to do is you asked for Outreach Manager, but I can't go through this without showing you all the goodness. An organism. This thing is breathing life. This thing is a brand new thing. It's never been done before, and it's coming to life right now within my.solavei. Everyone should get in. Everyone should get excited. Everyone should come participate. If you got something good to say, bad to say it in the community. Just bring it on, interact, chat, talk to your friends, talk to your members. However, the thing about the feed is 3 things you got to know about the feed. First is follow. So you want to follow somebody? So like my buddy Kirby, he's always in here. I'm already following Kirby. Anytime you want to follow someone, you roll over their picture. You like what they have to say? Boom, you hit this button here, you start following them. See Coach Manny. Boom, I just follow Coach Manny, right? I go into the feed, I go hit the purple button, the purple bar at top. I go and I check out who I'm following. Now I only see Coach Manny, I see Kirby, I see some of the other dudes that I'm following, right? This now gives me a very specific view of the conversation, allows me to have more of a dialogue with these folks. You go here and you say, hey, how about I just want to go check out my network. If I want to just interact with my network, I just interact with my network. If I want to interact with just the people who either I'm directly talking to and they're directly talking to, I go to my activity. The key thing about this to keep in mind, and it's funny, you know, we actually filed a few patents on this. No one's ever done this before, and a lot of people have asked me about this. This is actually on purpose, and I'm ready to conclude that it works, but it's interesting. People have different opinions. This is a group consciousness. It really is. Everything you put in the feed appears in the community. So there's no private conversations in the feed. If you want to have a private conversation, let's give a quick shout out to Laura here. If you want to have a quick conversation, you private message. Hey, how is it going? Right? Boom. Now I just private messaged her, right? Now I can have a separate conversation with her. But the key thing to keep in mind, the community is the heartbeat, it's the soul, it's the conversation. And the great thing for me is I just go in here and I see how are we doing today? How are people feeling about the product? How are people feeling about what's going on? And I interact with the group, and everything I share, people who follow me get it right away. So follow and filter. That's what you need to know about the feed. All right. Now you look on the right-hand side here. I've got something that a lot of folks might not have yet. I have my activity module now because I'm done with my fab. By the way, just so everyone knows, I actually am one of the few people probably who is not officially in this making money. That's all fine. I'm in this because this is my baby, but I need to know how it works. So I've set myself up as an active member, and I'm in this every day, and I see what everyone else sees. So in my little world, I've got one personal trio, one total trio. It just tells me here what I did in my last active sign-up. I click on this here. It gives me a little indicator of how I'm doing in terms of moving up the bar on my status, on my rank. So this is going to keep me real-time updated of what's going on in my world. That's my activity module. I also have the balance of content that we have here all the time available. Here's a little walkthrough on Outreach here, which I need to update because we just did some new features. So that's the general site. Some other key things to point out here. This is where you go to get your messages. Boom, Laura just hit me back, right? I can message her back if I'd like. I'll do that later. I have my notifications. Check this out. I bring up my notifications. Notifications are another critical element to this business. This is how we keep you informed of various things going on. You can see who posted. You can see when you've achieved stuff. You can see when people on your team achieve stuff. And you can act accordingly based upon those notifications. These are going to become very, very critical. These are going to become very much a means to drive behavior and to drive activity through notifications. So always be checking on your notifications and act on those notifications. Let's see here. Always make sure you check in service to make sure that people are covered before you actually sell service. Always qualify phones before you let people bring in their own phones, right? And here's your enroll button if you want to enroll someone real time. All right, so let's get into it here.
If somebody wants to pre-qualify a phone, they can just go into their back office here, into their community, and they can just push pre-qualify phone and do that without sending them through the enroll process.
Yep, absolutely. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go into Outreach Manager. And you'll see there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can actually, one, begin to inform people, and then two, also begin to when the people are at the process of wanting to enroll, that you can actually go forward and enroll them, okay? I'm going to take you through a bunch of this stuff now. So when you first go into Outreach Manager, you'll see a few things. First, you got your tracker summary. If you want to know what tracker summary is all about, any place in the site you see these little question marks, roll over it. It's going to tell you what's going on, okay? But a lot of people wonder, they say, wow, I did 47 send-outs. I've got 152 responses. How is that possible? We're actually tracking all the people who actually view all the stuff that you post in Facebook and Twitter. We just can't see the details because Facebook and Twitter will not give us that information. but we do track it. So this is kind of just a general feel of the noise level that you're making out there. We're actually right now working on some enhancements to Tracker where we're going to break that out in more detail so that you'll see your emails and your guestbook entries, and you'll also see your social shout-outs, and you'll be able to see those more granularly. Okay, but this gives you a general feel of what's going on. I've sent 47 of these shout-outs. I've gotten a bunch of people responding to them, and got. If you look over here, invite friends. This brings you into the ability to go and open up the Outreach Manager. But you also have here, you have your My Link, and you have your My Enroll. You have your My Invite link and your My Enroll link. The way this works is, anytime you're doing any of your own messaging, any of your own communications, any of your own marketing, if you include your link, your My Invite link, that always sends people to solavei.com, and it sends them bound to you as their sponsor. And this is a critical thing for people to understand, especially today when we opened up enrollment a little bit. When someone is bound to you as a sponsor, they continue to be bound to you. Our cookies do not expire. They can be overwritten if someone actually decides they want to go and be bound by someone else. But if you go and you invite someone with your invite link, they're connected to you. Every time they come back to solavei.com, you will pop up. Okay, so your invite link is what you use out there when you're doing your own marketing. When someone's ready to enroll, if you just want to say, hey, you're ready to enroll, let me just send you a link and you can come right in, you can use your My Enroll link. So these are two links that at any time you want to use it, anytime you want to directly go out there with your own communications, use those links. However, now let me go into Outreach Manager. So if you want to use the stuff we provide for you, you go into Outreach Manager. We just made some enhancements even just today where we started separating this stuff out. We're really trying to make this as simple as possible. So when you go in here, you have certain content that we think is most appropriate that you go and use as a first invite mechanism. We have content that we believe is best for follow-up, things like talking about compensation and things like that. And then we have stuff that we think is really best to be posted on Facebook and Twitter. And you'll see that we're really starting to hone this down here, and you'll see us continue to refine this over the next coming weeks and months. The goal is you should be able to come to Outreach Manager, and in a couple of minutes you should be able to basically outreach and get the word out. So let me do a couple things here. So I've got this I Am Solavei video. Okay, let me go send an email. So I click on that, and I can go and I can send an email. Let me just send an email to myself, right? Solavei.com. So I can do that. I can send up to 15 emails at a time. I can go and I can decide that I want to go import from whether I want to go for import from Gmail, Yahoo, or a Hotmail. Let me import from Yahoo. I got some folks there. So let me pull in those. So right away that goes here. Let's see, who should I communicate with there? Let's do, let's see, my buddy Chris Black. We'll give a little shout out to Chris. Maybe he's interested. Okay, so we just added him to the list. I go below here, and now it's already a canned message for me, right? But I can go and I could change it. Hey, what up? Check this out. Call me, right? And I'm good to go. I've got the content there. I can go and preview this message to see what it's going to look like. Looking good. You'll see this thing on the footer. This actually provides a means for people to reach back to you. If you go here and you see this little edit contact information, you can go and decide. Maybe you want them to see your email or not. Maybe you want to have a little show me the money. Maybe you want to do a little something there as your tagline. Save that. Okay, good to go. Now, when you're ready to send, boom, press send. Boom, you're good. Now, check this out. Automatically, you go into your contact tracker, and they have been added. And when they go and they open up that invite, when they read good stuff, when they go and watch the video, you will find out about it. And you can look at your contact tracker and say, hey, that's a warm lead. I got a fish on the line here. Let me go bring that in. Maybe follow up with email. Let me go do some stuff. Oh, check it out. I just got my message. Let's go look at this. This Solavei stuff's pretty cool. All right. Hey, you still there, by the way? I don't want to be talking to myself.
We're all here. We're taking it all in.
All right, cool. All right, so now, that's the first part of Outreach Manager, right? So you can use your email. You can import. Very simple, very straightforward. And the great thing about doing it within Outreach Manager is it's tracked and it helps you along. But if you want to go do your own email campaigns, just use your links and go, and away you go, right? Now, maybe you want to go and do a quick Facebook post. Boom. Hey, guess what? But I'm not connected at the moment. Okay, but I can get connected. How do I connect? If I go within my account settings into privacy, I can connect with Facebook. So now I'm connected with Facebook. So now once I connect with Facebook, and let me go ahead and connect with Twitter as well so I can go and post on there. Let me authorize the app. Now, I deliberately disconnected myself so that I could show you guys what it looks like when you reconnect. When you connect, then you don't have to do that every time. Okay, so once you're in, you're in. Oh, we'll talk about that in a second here. That's a whole different thing. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's go down, and we'll do the key things here are the way to look at the world is when you post stuff on Facebook and Twitter, that's your general shout out. That's just a general message out to your friends and family of, hey, check this out. Keep a close eye on that, what people's responses are. Start working that within the vehicles that Facebook and Twitter give you. But as soon as you got someone on the line, you really want to then start sending them some emails, start having some conversations with them live, and start working them through the process. So really the whole thing around posting is really just about keeping it simple and just getting the word out. You know, so let's do the what is Solavei, and I'll do that on my own timeline.
You know, Jim, I think another good point to make too is, and you said it a minute ago, but the postable content that goes to Facebook and Twitter, it's general announcements is what you're making, but it's not a real direct invitation, which is why, and obviously we're going through a third party when we go to Facebook or we go to Twitter. That's not how the contact tracker is going to be tracking information. It's going to be tracking information when you take it the next step and you're actually making an invite. So the invites through email that you saw listed a minute ago, those are the ones that our system will be tracking.
Correct. So I just put that out there. Boom, there it is. Now people come, they can come check it out, and they click on this, right? They click on any one of these links, right? They go, what is Solavei? Well, guess what? They come to Solavei, right? They can watch that, right? Now they want to check it out more. Well, guess what? Now they come here, boom, and they're connected to me, right? It's all goodness. You see how it all links together? And this then is your closer. Use Solavei.com as your closer, right? That makes sense? All righty then. So, okay. So what else do I want to show you? Let's do.
Hey Jim, before you jump on, this is Rob. Before you proceed, is there anything in the Outreach Manager that is slated for a Outreach Manager 2.0? Can you give us a sneak peek as to some future functionality?
Yeah, so the big things we're working on now is a couple of areas. One is in the organization of this content so that it really does become cookie cutter. So it's like do this first, then do this, then do this. That will become a lot more logical so that folks don't even have to think about it, like is this good content to share? We're testing all this content. We're watching closely what really pulls and works. And this is really going to turn into a very, very powerful marketing engine for each member. I think the other key thing, which is going to be huge as it relates to capabilities, is the improvements we're making with Contact Tracker. So Contact Tracker now will evolve, and you'll be able to go and filter and sort by activity. You'll be able to see your social outreaches, how many people have watched videos. You won't see exactly who they were, but you'll know kind of the general feel of what's happening out there. Cool? All right, so now let me show you this last thing here, which is all the stuff that we just launched last night. So I just went into my network, right? So let me take you out. So I went into network. You start out in dashboard. You hit network. Now when I go into network, I see a couple of major advances here. So I see what my totals are, my total connections. When I look at my folks here that are in my network, this little red icon means that they haven't yet activated their mobile service, so I can't start making money on them yet. But I can look here and I can say my personal network, these are all my P1s. These these are all the people that have come in directly underneath me, right? And these are actually all employees because we run our employee plan out of my account. So these are all the employees. But then you look underneath here, and if you look at this PC1 equals, that says that Dennis has got 3 people directly to him. So if you keep in mind what trios are formed as, trios are people I sign and people they sign. So for every 3 of these that are now outside of their activation and completed their 2nd month, now I know that they start forming trios. I look at Dennis and I say, he's got 3. So I click on that thing and boom, now I can see his people as well. And I know that he's got 3 of them. So now he's got a trio for me as well. Now another feature that we're working on now, which we'll launch in the next couple of weeks, is you will launch a new icon which is called the trio eligible icon. So there'll be another icon which gets put in right next to everyone's username in your network view. And it's a little, our little indicator for a trio, a little 3. And when you see that, now you know that they're trio eligible. So you could just go in here and count up how many trio eligibles you got in your personal network, and you'll know how many trios you're going to get paid for that next month. So in addition to the dashboard and the My Activity view of the world, you also can go in there and see a much more granular view of how your network is formed. Cool?
Jim, that's awesome, and I know that it's constantly evolving. This is a huge release, actually, and what a timely moment to have you on the call tonight that this was released today.
Absolutely. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Right there. Let me give a big hand.
They're loving you, baby.
I know Outreach Manager.
Well, and the icon that's beside your name there, the little red telephone, tells us that you need to connect with that person. Jim, I just need to make sure you get activated. Are you having a hard time there, buddy?
Yeah. There are many anomalies about my account. I've activated like 27 times, I think, in different accounts. Yes, that one actually deliberately in this account I'm not activated because I wanted to make sure that icon worked.
So when we see that icon, that's somebody that we probably want to get in touch with and help them get activated for whatever reason they may not be activated.
Absolutely. And here's the way to look at it, and the reason why we don't plaster it all over the page within the feed and stuff. You know, when someone first comes in, they're going to get that icon just because they're new, right? It'll take them 3 to 5 days to get activated. But if you know someone came in, they came in a week ago, and they still have that icon, you definitely want to hit them with a little private message, say, dude, you got to get activated. What's up? Right? So that's definitely key information for you. The other thing, and this is one, so this is Koppel, this is our dude who's running development. So he put himself in suspended mode today. So this is if you don't pay your bill, this is what happens to what you look like in the network. So you can't get paid on someone who's in suspended mode. So if you go in suspended mode, then you know that you need to get in touch with this dude, right? Because this dude is going to be dropping from the network if you don't pay his bill. He's got 10 people under him. Now, you won't lose those 10, but he will. All righty,
that's
we
an
good?
important distinction to make because I've had that question asked a couple of times. That just simply for the fact that if somebody in your network who is trio eligible, so you're being paid on them as a trio, and they drop, yes, the horizontal compression will slot somebody in, but there are 10 people underneath them that are still part of your personal network. Those 10 still, because those are 10 signed by him personally, that's still 3 trios with 1 left over.
Right. What happens is, in the system, it just shows up as a blank spot, right? But they're still there and available.
Yeah, so just so everybody who's listening, just know that when that person drops, that's only 1 trio that's affected for you. His 10 under him, which are still 3 trios plus 1, you're still paid on. Those are still part of your network, your extended network, or your personal network in this case.
Correct. So, and just in closing here, you know, the thing that excites me every day when I'm in here and when I'm seeing the kind of stuff that is really evolving as people utilize this system, you know, this really has never been done before, and you know, and it's every day, it's new stuff happening, and it's you know, new interesting ways that people are finding to make use of it. And quite frankly, we're finding new things that are needed and continuing to build and evolve this thing. And it really, I think, is a couple of things that are going to make us successful. One is people just understanding and accepting and appreciating the fact that this is going to continue to evolve, right? And we don't always get everything right. But we're going to continue to evolve and continue to learn, and we'll make mistakes, and we'll fix them, and we'll do some things that are amazing and some things that didn't work. But we will continue to evolve, and we will evolve quickly, and we will evolve organically based upon the membership and people, how they use the service and how they benefit from it. This is all about the members. This is all about empowering every person in this system to succeed. And this system will be as great as the people that participate in it and how much they use it. Cool?
Yeah, it's incredible, Jim, and I love your personality to know the way this is being developed. I know you are an extremely right-brain human being that has just an extraordinary left-brain ability to tap in there. But what I love about this, Jim, is it's once people get familiar, and when people first started in Facebook, it was clunky. They were afraid of it. They were afraid to tell people where they were because somebody might hit them, up while they're gone. But now today they live in there, and you're creating this with a lot of gamification as well that makes it fun and exciting that you want to go back and you want to check it. And I think everyone that's on this webinar tonight, and those of you that will be listening by recording, is to see this is the beginning of the future of something great. If you've ever wanted to be a part of making history, this is a historical phone call. These are historical moments. These are historical developments that are taking place when you get to say, I was a part when the first My Activity screen was on. And so, Jim, we are so incredibly honored. I love the way people are hitting you up right now in the community because they want to be recognized on your work.
When they notice I'm in, they all start swarming.
Well, it's incredible. Rob, do you have any other questions for Jim?
No, not for Jim. I appreciate your help, Jim. You're certainly an asset to the field. I appreciate all of your hard work on the corporate side, and I know you're developing this system not only to revolutionize a complete technology, but you're also revolutionizing an industry by developing what you're doing. So I appreciate all your hard work there. I do have some takeaways after Jim is done. Stacy, just let me know, and we'll help wrap it up.
Cool. So how do I give this back to you, Stacy? Can you just take it from me?
I will take it from you, and it's coming back my way. There we go. Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Jim, thank you so much for being a part this evening. We really appreciate you.
Cool. Talk to you.
So, everyone, we're going to sum this up, and I know, Rob, I want you to as well. We've got some incredible things that are going on right now within Solavei, and certainly there's something about Solavei that makes our entire revolution. People say, well, mobile service isn't revolutionary, and no, it's not. And really, even social networking isn't revolutionary. What's revolutionary is when you have the opportunity, and I hope all of you do one day, have the opportunity to come to the Solavei corporate offices and meet Jim Ryan, meet the guy and the team and these incredible developers that are behind the making of this new social commerce network. Come and meet John Rittenhouse and meet not the former COO of Walmart, although he was, and with Louis Vuitton, and just an incredible history of experience. But what you walk through when you walk through the offices is you walk through truly an incredible legacy that these people have come all to the table to Solavei for such a time as this. Their pasts are their pasts. They've had incredible experiences. But every single one of them, when you see them and when you meet them, they will tell you, and I heard Jim say it this week, all of that was for this moment, for me to do what I'm doing right now. It prepared me. And I believe that is where you're at right now as well, is maybe you've had great successes in your history. Maybe you've had great things that have gone for you. You've been a real winner in life. Maybe you've had some failures along the way and you've tried to put your pieces together and say, why doesn't it work out the way I'd like it to? And maybe in the process of those failures, you have learned a lot of what not to do. Well, one of the things that we know is that whether your history is laden with big wins or what seems like a lot of misses, your history defines your destiny. And you're here for such a time as this. There's a few things in Solavei that we do value very much. And I like to share this on every webinar because it is our core tenets of the company. Number one, we value connection. We value you. We believe that our relationships are our most valuable asset in the company. We also value goodwill. We believe that making life better for others isn't just what we say. It is actually who we are as Solavei, and it's what matters most to us. You'll find that the bigger vision of Solavei is we, like Rob said, we want to change the way people think about commerce, the way they think about spending money. So they begin to wake up and say, you know what, I don't have to overspend anymore. There's a better way. It's called Solavei. And then, of course, we value initiative. We believe that great results require us to take ownership and action. Now, if you look at those three things, you can have all the connections and friends in the world and a real heart to do good. But if you don't get out there and take action with initiative, then you know what? Solavei probably won't work for you. In fact, you can be an incredible entrepreneur with a really good heart, but if you don't have connections, you're probably going to struggle. That's why these three things, we believe, they are core tenets of the company, and it's what we do stand by every single day. I want to personally, before I let Rob say his final word, just thank Jim for being a part. And Rob, I thank you very much for being a part of this webinar tonight. It's a joy. I have an aha. I'd like to say that I think we need to do this all the time, where we all come together, we form a team, one voice, and that voice is Solavei. So Rob, give us a couple of words, and then I'll close it out.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'd like to support that thought. We all have our individual teams, yes, and there's always a need to communicate individually because we're the ones that have the personal relationships with our teams and with the leaders in our teams. But we are all part of Team Solavei. And so as long as everybody understands that we approach this with an abundance mentality, that there is no mine, yours, and ours, it is literally we're part of one team, we're part of one family, and together we move forward. And when we all win, we all win. So I'd like to just wrap it up by giving a call to action. In listening to that, no matter who is doing the webinar, whether it's Jim Ryan, whether it's Staci Wallace, or whether it's a brand new person who I'm talking to about Solavei, I always try to glean wisdom from any source. And so listening to this particular call, there's some calls to action that I want everybody within the sound of my voice to go out and commit to do. First things first, I want you to friend 3 new people on Facebook. Sit down and think it through. Reach out to some people that you have either been watching or thinking about and private message them. If you don't know them, get to know them. You can private message anybody on Facebook. Reach out, introduce yourself, and say, hey, I've been watching your Facebook posts. I like what you have to say. We have some friends in common. I don't know you personally, but I'd like to get to know you. Private message new people. That's how you establish new relationships. Do that outside of Solavei and inside of Solavei. You should friend leaders in Solavei, but you should also friend people that are friends with your friends who you can ultimately strike a relationship with. So the first thing, I want you to friend 3 new people on Facebook or follow somebody on Twitter or whatever, just 3 new social media contacts. The second thing is I want you to invest 30 minutes of your time into the contact manager. I want you to invest 30 minutes. Sit down, put a timer on, do not get up from the chair until you've sat down and you've clicked on every button in there, you've practiced, send stuff to yourself, see what it looks like, see how long it takes to show up, learn the tool that is the tool that you're going to be using from now on. So the second thing is invest that time, because that's time well spent. It's time invested in understanding what it is that you have access to in order to further yourself, further your business. So with that, this is kind of a 2.5 or a 2.1, is I want you to send 3 invites to friends from the contact manager. If you've already done it, send 3 more. If you've never done it, send your first 3. But learn that process. Send 1 to yourself, but you don't count. Yours is just a test. And then send 3 to 3 new people. Do the message. This is a task now that I want you to do. This is investing in yourself and learning the process. And the final thing is I want you to go into the community and I want you to private message. This was awesome. I learned something out of that listening to Jim. I want you to go in there and I want you to private message 3 people from your team and offer support. Nothing else. I just want you to let them know that you're there and you're excited to work with them and you're excited to help them out in whatever they need. And just see what type of relationship blossoms from there, because you will find that, as Staci said, relationships are our most precious asset. There is nothing more important than a relationship. And I have friends that I have kept in contact with for 25 years plus, that they are a valued part of my life. And there's nothing more important to me than those relationships. And those start somewhere. And so I want you to go in and private message people on your team specifically and reach out to them and offer support. So those are my calls to action that I think everyone can and should participate in. Back to you, Staci.
Awesome, Rob. Thank you so much. It's been a great webinar tonight, you guys. I encourage you, listen to it again, go through it, take the call to action to heart, and we are very excited. Remember, now is the time, this is the place, and you are the one to start the revolution. My name is Staci Wallace, and on behalf of Rob McFadden and Jim Ryan, we are believing